Valar Morghulis. What if Ned told Catelyn the truth about Jon? Part 2. Thanks to our subscriber at martinspacel5100 for the comment that inspired this story. Meereen, early 302 AC. Daenerys' gaze sweeps the distant horizon. Her dragons, wings outstretched, circle high above. She grips the parchment Barristan handed her, mind racing with possibilities.
A northern lord with Targaryen blood. We sail at once, have the fleet provisioned. We must learn the truth for ourselves.
As you command, your grace. The harbours of Meereen throng with your ships. We can depart within the week.
This letter mentions House Stark of Winterfell. They claim the realm is fractured. Multiple kings, a Lannister threat, and something far more ominous beyond the wall. If there truly is a man with Targaryen blood forging alliances, I must know his intentions.
I have served House Targaryen all my life. If this man is who he claims to be, your house may stand stronger. But caution is wise, my queen.
If he is an imposter, we will uncover it. If he is real, my dragons and I will test his blood.
She strides back inside, the heavy door closing behind her. The city bustles far below, but the Dragon Queen's mind is already sailing across the sea. Moat Cailin, the north, mid-302 AC. Within the mossy fortifications of Moat Cailin, Catelyn Stark paces in a torchlit corridor. Beside her stands the Crannogman, Howland Reed, solemn and sure. Outside, in a drafty antechamber, Jon Snow waits, unaware of the conversation taking place within.
Howland. If Daenerys Targaryen arrives, Jon may be summoned. Word spreads that she has liberated Slavers Bay and commands dragons. We cannot hide the truth forever.
The realm already whispers of Jon's blood, but whispers are not proof. Once Daenerys reaches Westeros, she might demand more than rumor. Do you still plan to reveal all to Jon?
She presses her trembling fingers to the old seal. The weight of Ned's secret, entrusted to her, still bears heavily.
He must learn the truth from me, not from strangers. Ned died keeping this secret. I will not fail him.
My lady, Lord Reed.
Catelyn forces a gentle smile, one that still surprises Jon. He remembers colder days when she offered no warmth at all.
Jon, there is something of great importance I must tell you.
He glimpses the worn parchment in her hand. Catelyn and Howland lead Jon inside. The door closes behind them. Torchlight spills across damp stone walls. Catelyn unfolds the letter, voice trembling.
This was written by Lyanna Stark, my sister by marriage, your mother.
Jon's heart pounds, breath catching. He stares at the script, incredulous.
She loved Rhaegar Targaryen. They wed in secret. Robert Baratheon's rebellion was sparked by falsehoods. Everyone believed Rhaegar abducted her. But it was not so. When Lyanna died, Ned promised to protect you.
Rhaegar Targaryen, my father.
Yes, Jon. You are no bastard. You are the son of Lyanna Stark and Prince Rhaegar. Ned hid the truth to shield you from King Robert's vengeance.
The weight of this revelation crushes Jon's every assumption. He has worn the name Snow for years, endured side glances and slights, believed himself unwanted. Now he blinks, unsteady.
Why tell me now?
Because Daenerys Targaryen has crossed the sea. She summons you. The realm cannot be saved from within if we remain divided. I will not let secrets destroy us.
Jon's gaze drops to the parchment. He envisions the father he never knew, the mother who died giving him life, and Ned Stark, who bore dishonor to protect him.
I don't know what to do.
Find Daenerys. Speak truth. Unite us, Jon. If you truly carry Targaryen blood, perhaps the dragons will answer.
Jon inhales, shoulders squared. Shock swirls inside him, but an ember of resolve glows. He was raised a Stark, taught honor by the man he called father. He will not betray that upbringing, no matter his parentage. White Harbor, the north, 302 AC, at the bustling port of White Harbor, Jon Snow prepares to sail south. Robb Stark, newly crowned king in the north, clasps Jon's forearm in farewell. Nearby, Catelyn Stark stands with her sons Bran and Rickon, who remain behind for safety.
You've ever been a brother to me. Now I learn you're my cousin. That doesn't change what's in my heart.
I'll do all I can to forge peace and to protect us from what lies beyond the wall.
Catelyn Stark steps forward. She had once regarded Jon with thinly veiled resentment. Now her eyes glisten with sorrow and pride.
Go with the gods, Jon. Remember who raised you and who bore you. You are both ice and fire.
Jon bows his head, boards the ship, and sails for the southern ports, where Daenerys Targaryen's fleet is rumored to land. Dragonstone, late 302 AC. The seas churn around the ancient fortress of Dragonstone. Storm clouds gather overhead. Daenerys' fleet, anchored under the Targaryen banner, bobs in the harbour. Unbeknownst to them all, another claimant has seized this island first, Stannis Baratheon. Yet Daenerys' arrival changes everything. Ashore, a fierce battle unfolds. Stannis' dwindling supporters clash with unsullied phalanxes. The narrow beaches run red with blood. High on a rocky outcrop stands Sir Davos Seaworth, face set in despair, for Stannis' cause is crumbling. Daenerys Targaryen sits astride a black horse, flanked by Grey Worm and the Unsullied. Above, Drogon circles, roaring.
Lay down your arms! I offer mercy to those who yield!
Stannis appears at the entrance to the fortress gates. His forces are outnumbered, exhausted. He brandishes Lightbringer, or what he believes to be the prophesied sword. Its glow faint in the dull light.
I am the rightful king of Westeros, daughter of the Mad King.
A swirl of flame erupts as Drogon unleashes a savage torrent, scattering Stannis' men.
You are no king. I am Daenerys Stormborn, mother of dragons. I claim Dragonstone by blood.
Stannis roars in defiance, charging. Grey Worm's disciplined ranks respond swiftly. Within moments, Stannis is unhorsed, pinned under spears. His eyes blaze with bitter pride one last time. A final blow ends him. Davos Seaworth is taken prisoner, kneeling in the wet sand. He stares at Stannis' fallen form, tears in his eyes.
This one yields, your grace.
Daenerys dismounts. She walks across the beach, waves lapping at her boots, and regards Davos.
You fought for him?
I did, though he was flawed. I believed he'd bring justice to the realm.
Your loyalty is admirable, but your king was misguided. For now, you will remain my prisoner. Prove your worth, and we shall see.
Davos bows his head in solemn acceptance. Later, in Dragonstone's Great Hall, Tyrion Lannister, Daenerys' hand, stands by a map of Westeros. Forced to flee King's Landing under accusation of regicide, Tyrion killed his father Tywin Lannister in a desperate escape from the Red Keep. Smuggled across the narrow sea by Varys, he soon pledged his wit and political savvy to Daenerys, who recognized his value as both a strategist and a Westerosi liaison. Barristan Selmy and Missandei listen. Davos, under guard, observes quietly. Outside, the sea crashes against volcanic cliffs.
Our scouts confirm a fleet from White Harbor sails this way, carrying a northern envoy, possibly the rumored Targaryen-born lord. If we intend to unify Westeros, we should hear him out.
Daenerys taps her fingers on the carved stone table.
I would not dismiss the Starks lightly. They are proud and honorable. If this man truly is Rhaegar's son, I want to see him with my own eyes.
Your grace, I beg you, if this man can unite the realm, grant him an audience. The living face a dire threat from the north, or so I've heard. White Walkers.
Tyrion's eyebrows flick upward. The rumor of ice demons beyond the wall has circulated, but many southern lords scoff.
If Lord Snow has proof, we cannot ignore him.
Daenerys inclines her head. She gazes at the painted table, at the crest of House Targaryen.
Very well, we will hear this, Jon Snow.
Dragonstone's courtyard, a week later. The northern ship anchors, and Jon Snow disembarks. By his side is a small retinue of loyal Northmen. They climb the steep steps to the fortress gates. Awaiting them stands Missandei with unsullied guards.
Welcome, Her Grace awaits.
They proceed across the courtyard to the grand doors of the keep. Jon's cloak flutters in the salty breeze, heart pounding with tension. He has never seen dragons before. He hears them screech overhead, sees their massive silhouettes against dark clouds. Great Hall, Daenerys' audience. Jon enters. He sees the silver-haired queen seated on a high-backed chair. Tyrion stands at her side, flanked by Barristan and Grey Worm. Davos lingers near a column, guarded but curious. Jon bows respectfully.
Your Grace, I come in the name of Robb Stark, King in the North, and in the memory of Eddard Stark who raised me.
Daenerys studies him, searching his features for any sign of Rhaegar. A hush falls.
You claim Targaryen blood. Tell me, who are you?
Jon's throat tightens. He glances at Tyrion, who offers a small nod of encouragement.
My name was Jon Snow.
but I've learned I was born to Lyanna Stark and Prince Rhaegar Targaryen in the Tower of Joy. My mother died there. Lord Eddard Stark hid me to protect my life.
Gasps ripple through the hall. Daenerys' eyes narrow.
And your proof?
Jon hesitates, producing Lyanna's letter sealed with the Stark direwolf. Missandei retrieves it for Daenerys to inspect. Tyrion and Barristan lean in, scanning the faded lines.
It appears genuine.
Still, Daenerys' face remains guarded. She rises, stepping close, gazing intently at Jon's grey eyes.
My father was called the Mad King. My brother Rhaegar was said to be noble, but the realm fell into ruin after his death. If you are truly his son, you have a claim that rivals mine. Why should I trust you?
I care nothing for crowns. I came because the Night's Watch has sounded the alarm. White Walkers threaten all living souls. If we do not unite, we die.
Daenerys' expression softens fractionally. She's heard rumors of the dead rising. She glances at her dragons through the open windows, their roars echoing.
Words are wind, Jon Targaryen, if that is who you are. We must be certain. Targaryens have a bond with dragons. Only our blood can hope to master them. Prove it.
Jon's jaw tightens. Anxiety swells. The notion of riding a dragon feels impossible, yet something stirs within him. Dragonstone's cliffs at dusk. High atop a rocky plateau, Drogon stands perched, fiery eyes glaring. Daenerys approaches with Jon. Grey Worm, Tyrion, Barristan and Davos stand at a distance. Rhaegal and Viserion circle overhead.
This is my child, Drogon. If you are blood of my blood, he may accept you.
Jon steps forward slowly, each crunch of gravel echoing. Drogon snorts, exhaling smoke. Jon extends a trembling hand.
It's all right.
To everyone's astonishment, Drogon lowers his massive head. Jon touches the beast's scaled neck. A strange warmth courses through him. In that moment, doubt falls away.
The blood of the dragon.
Daenerys' eyes shine with relief, fascination, and perhaps a sudden kinship she never expected. She nods once.
Mount him!
Heart pounding, Jon climbs onto Drogon's back, following Daenerys' guidance. The dragon rumbles, but doesn't buck him off. Tyrion stares, astonished. With a powerful beat of its wings, Drogon launches skyward. Jon clings desperately. Below, Daenerys watches with parted lips. Drogon circles once, then lands in a gust of wind. Jon dismounts, shaking but triumphant.
You have proven your heritage, Jon. You are the son of my late brother.
A hush. Then Daenerys extends her hand.
Let us forge an alliance for the sake of the living.
Jon clasps her hand. A single handshake seals their accord. War Council in Dragonstone's chamber. Maps of Westeros sprawl across the table. Tyrion, Davos, Jon, Daenerys and Barristan stand around it.
The White Walkers approach the wall. The Night's Watch lacks manpower. Lord Snow, Jon, believes the threat is imminent.
They bring an endless winter. If we fail to unite now, no throne will matter.
Then we shall fly north. But first we must quell the Lannisters who still resist and secure the Iron Throne. Will your brother Robb join us?
Yes. Robb holds the north. We must combine our forces to face both the undead and any who stand in our way.
They plot a route. Daenerys' dragons and the bulk of her army will march upon King's Landing to remove Cersei. Jon will lead a contingent northward to gather more allies. Then they will converge for the final push.
What of the Tyrells or the Dornish? We need their aid.
I'll send ravens. But the Lannisters at King's Landing remain the biggest obstacle. Cersei has spurned all pleas to join forces.
Daenerys' face darkens.
She refuses to relinquish the throne. Very well. We give her one last chance to surrender. If she will not, we dethrone her by force.
The North, battlefield near Winterfell, 303 AC. Word reaches Robb Stark that the White Walkers have shattered the wall's eastern portion. The army of the dead creeps south. Snow drifts, even though it should be autumn. A swirl of icy wind howls across the bleak plain. Robb, flanked by the Greatjon and other northern lords, faces skeletal wights surging from the tree line. Arya Stark stands beside Gendry, each wielding dragonglass daggers. Bran and Rickon remain inside Winterfell's safety.
Form ranks, archers loose.
Arrows tipped with dragonglass hiss, felling some wights, but more rise, unstoppable.
Get back, Gendry.
Gendry smashes a white skull with a warhammer. The northern lines hold, but only just. A piercing screech echoes across the field. One of Daenerys' dragons, Rhaegal, swoops overhead, Jon in the saddle. Daenerys astride Drogon follows, raining fire upon the undead ranks. Roars of flame scorch the land. The White Walkers recoil, ice meeting fire in a violent clash.
Robb!
Robb embraces him, relief flooding his features. The combined army stands a fighting chance, yet the Night King looms at the edge of the fray. His crystal blue gaze fixes on Jon. The dead rise where they have fallen.
Dracarys!
Drogon's flames incinerate rows of whites, but the Night King flings a spear of ice. Drogon banks hard, shrieking. Daenerys narrowly avoids disaster.
Protect Daenerys!
He charges through swirling snow. The Night King steps forward, drawing an icy blade. Steel meets frost in a ringing clash. Jon's Valyrian steel holds. The Night King's strength is inhuman, pushing Jon back. With a burst of defiance, Jon sweeps the blade in a wide arc. A crack of ice, he slices through the Night King's defenses. The ancient other staggers, sinister eyes flaring. Jon slams his sword home in the creature's chest. A thunderous shatter echoes. The Night King splinters into a million shards of ice. All around, whites collapse, lifeless once more. Silence descends. The survivors stare in disbelief. Jon stands panting over the broken remains of the realm's darkest foe. Daenerys Targaryen dismounts and rushes to Jon, heart pounding. The two stand amid swirling snow, locked in grateful relief. Winterfell's great hall. Northern bannermen cheer, celebrating victory over the dead. Fires crackle, pushing back the lingering chill. Robb presides at the high table with Daenerys and Jon. Catelyn and Arya observe with bittersweet joy. That same night, in the warmth of a quiet corridor, Jon and Daenerys speak softly.
I have never felt so complete. We have ended the terror from beyond the wall. The realm still needs us, but I feel hope.
Jon smiles, pressing a gentle hand to her cheek.
We were brought together for a reason. Maybe all the bloodshed led here to a chance for peace.
She embraces him tenderly. Sometime later, she confesses in hushed tones.
My blood runs hot. I suspect I carry your child.
Jon's breath catches. Love and disbelief swirl in his eyes.
A child? We will protect our son or daughter, always.
They share a quiet moment, dwarfed by the ancient stone walls. Winterfell's great hall, a double wedding, early 304 AC. Candles blaze in every alcove. Northern lords gather in solemn joy. Two ceremonies unite House Stark and Targaryen lines even further. First, Jon Targaryen, once Snow, and Daenerys Targaryen stand before a weirwood-laced altar. Samwell Tarly officiates, wearing Maester's robes, newly arrived from the Citadel. A hush falls over the hall.
By the old gods and the new, we gather to celebrate the union of Jon and Daenerys.
Jon and Daenerys exchange vows, hands bound with ribbon. Catelyn and Robb watch from nearby, tears in their eyes. The crowd cheers as Jon kisses his bride. Moments later, at the second altar, Arya Stark stands in a simple gown beside Gendry Baratheon, recently legitimized by royal decree. Yet Arya's restless gaze betrays her nerves. She learned she is expecting Gendry's child. Torn between her independence and love, she hesitated until a gentle intervention from Jon.
I'm no lady, but I will wed you, Gendry. We'll forge our own path.
You'll always be free. I only want your happiness.
They exchange rings. The crowd applauds. Jon, at Arya's side, leans in briefly.
You're still our fierce wolf. Marriage changes none of that.
Arya smiles, relieved. King's Landing, 304 AC, the final confrontation. The combined might of the North, Targaryen forces, and their allies gathers outside the city gates. Cersei Lannister has refused all entreaties. She stands on the Red Keep's ramparts with Qyburn, an eerie wildfire glimmer in her eyes.
They want my throne. I'll burn them all first.
Her ranks of Lannister soldiers stand battered, outnumbered. The city's populace cowers. Jaime Lannister, torn between devotion and horror, watches Cersei pace.
Cersei, the city will be slaughtered. Surrender and spare the innocent.
She glares, madness flickering.
Never. If they take me, I'll leave this city in ashes, like the caches. Let wildfire devour them.
Jaime reels, memories of Aerys II's final threat returning. He cannot let history repeat. Below, Daenerys' dragons circle menacingly. Tyrion tries one last time.
Cersei, the city need not burn. Release your hold. The throne belongs to the rightful rulers, Jon and Daenerys Targaryen. Please, for the sake of the people, surrender.
Cersei only laughs, nodding at Qyburn. Green plumes of wildfire begin to glow beneath the city. Jaime Lannister seizes his sword. He tries to pull Cersei away from the parapet.
Cersei, come with me. We can flee before you doom everyone.
Cersei sneers, stepping toward the hidden wildfire trigger. Jaime's face contorts with anguish.
I won't watch you become what I once killed.
She tries to break free, screaming, "I am the queen!" But Jaime, tears streaming, does the unthinkable. He stabs her through the heart. She gasps, shock filling her eyes. Blood reddens her lips.
You were all I had.
She falls, dying. Jaime stares at the blood on his hands, haunted. Grief overwhelms him. Then, with grim resignation, he drives the blade into his own chest, collapsing beside her. Moments later, Tyrion and a few Lannister soldiers burst into the tower. They find the twins lying side by side. Tyrion's face contorts in sorrow, tears running unchecked.
My brother, my sister.
Weeks later, the Iron Throne stands unoccupied, its twisted swords gleam in midday sunlight. Jon Targaryen and Daenerys Targaryen enter. Silent courtiers watch as the couple ascends the dais. Tyrion, face etched with mourning for his siblings, remains beside them. Davos Seaworth, freed from captivity and now serving as an advisor, announces,
"Behold Jon, first of his name, and Daenerys, first of her name, true heirs of House Targaryen. They stand united as king and queen of the Andals, the Rhoynar, and the First Men."
A roar of approval rises. Some kneel, some simply stare in awe. Jon and Daenerys face each other, their hands clasp. Daenerys steps forward.
"We have fought White Walkers, ended tyranny, and bound two great houses together. Let our reign bring renewal to Westeros."
Jon, steel in his voice.
We promise justice and peace. Together we shall rebuild what war has broken.
They each settle onto the Iron Throne, two rulers, forging a new precedent. Aftermath. Robb Stark remains king in the North for a time, negotiating with his cousin. But after much discussion, the North agrees to rejoin the realm, granted wide autonomy and solemn promises of respect. Arya and Gendry, now Lady and Lord Baratheon of Storm's End, rebuild their seat. They welcome their newborn son, Edric Baratheon, into a changing world. Arya, restless, ensures her child is raised to be as free-spirited as she. Tyrion Lannister becomes Lord of Casterly Rock, inheriting the Westerlands after Jaime and Cersei's tragic end. He rules with measured wisdom and invests in restoring farmland ravaged by war. Though his sorrow lingers, he finds solace in building a more just domain. At Winterfell, Catelyn tends to the younger Starks. Bran hones his gifts, Rickon grows into a sturdy youth, and Sansa, freed earlier in the war, has chosen to reside in the Vale temporarily with her aunt's court. Peace, though fragile, blankets the north. Late 304 AC, the birth of the next prince. In the Red Keep, Daenerys goes into labor. Maesters and midwives bustle around her. Jon paces anxiously outside the chamber. Finally, a lusty cry pierces the corridor. A Maester emerges, beaming.
"A son, your grace."
Jon rushes in. Daenerys, pale and exhausted, cradles a swaddled infant. Tears of relief brim in her eyes. Jon kneels beside her, pressing a trembling kiss to her forehead.
Our son, alive and well.
Daenerys softly strokes the baby's downy hair.
"We shall name him Rhaegar, after his grandsire."
Westeros breathes in a rare peace, guided by two monarchs who embody both ice and fire. Jon I and Daenerys I, united in purpose and bound by love. No one can say how history will judge them, but for now, the realm stands under their shared banner, forging a future brighter than the chaos left behind. Valar Morghulis.